My ex said no man would want a woman my size. I lost 90 pounds, and now he stares every time I pass by with someone new. My name is Kendra, I'm 31, and this is my version of revenge. I'm standing in my bathroom mirror right now, applying mascara with hands that aren't shaking anymore. 6 months ago, they would have been trembling just thinking about where I'm going tonight. But that was before I discovered what real confidence feels like. Before I learned that revenge isn't always loud and dramatic, sometimes it's as quiet as walking into a room and watching someone's jaw drop. My phone buzzes on the marble countertop. A text from my best friend Ashley. Girl, are you ready for tonight? Derek's gonna lose his mind when he sees you. I smile at my reflection. Ashley's been my cheerleader through this entire transformation. Even when I told her my real motivation wasn't health or happiness, it was pure, calculated revenge. She thought I was joking at first. Kendra, you're not seriously losing weight just to spite Derek, are you? But when I explained what he said to me that night 9 months ago, her tune changed real quick. No man's gonna want you looking like that, Kendra. You've let yourself go completely. Those words hit me like a slap across the face. We'd been together for 3 years, and I thought Derek loved me. Sure, I'd gained weight, about 60 pounds since we started dating. But life happens, you know? My mom got sick, I switched to a desk job, stress eating became my coping mechanism. I never thought the man who claimed to love me would use my insecurities as weapons. But he did. And then he left me for Brittany, this 23-year-old personal trainer with abs you could grate cheese on. The breakup was messy, public, and humiliating. He moved out of our shared apartment and into hers within a week. A week. I text Ashley back, more ready than I've ever been for anything. Tonight's the grand opening of this new upscale bar downtown called Velvet. Derek's been posting about it on social media for weeks. Apparently, it's his new favorite spot, and Brittany's been tagged in every single photo. They'll definitely be there tonight. And so will I with my date. Oh, did I mention I have a date? His name's Cameron, and well, let's just say Derek's going to hate him. Cameron's everything Derek pretends to be, but isn't. Successful, genuinely kind, and devastatingly handsome. We met at my gym 3 months ago. He asked me out twice before I said yes, not because I wasn't interested, but because I was terrified. The old Kendra would have assumed he was asking me out as a joke or a dare. But this new version of me? She knows her worth. I slip into the black dress I bought specifically for tonight. It's a size 8, down from the size 18 I was wearing when Derek dumped me. The fabric hugs every curve I've worked so hard to sculpt, and when I look in the mirror, I see a woman I barely recognize. She's strong. She's confident. And she's ready to show Derek exactly what he gave up. My doorbell rings, and my heart does this little flutter. Cameron's here. I grab my purse and take one last look in the mirror. Game time, I whisper to my reflection. Cameron's leaning against his car when I open the door, and the look on his face is everything I need to feel invincible tonight. He's wearing a perfectly fitted navy suit that makes his eyes look impossibly blue, and his smile could melt ice. Wow, he says, straightening up. You look absolutely stunning. Thank you, I say, and I mean it. I'm not deflecting the compliment or making a self-deprecating joke like I used to. I'm accepting it because I know it's true. The drive to Velvet is filled with easy conversation and laughter. Cameron tells me about his day at the architecture firm where he works, and I share stories from my job at the marketing agency. It's comfortable, natural, everything my relationship with Derek never was. With Derek, I was always walking on eggshells, always worried about saying the wrong thing or eating too much or not being pretty enough. With Cameron, I can just be myself. You seem nervous, Cameron observes as we pull into the parking garage. Everything okay? I debate telling him the truth, that my ex-boyfriend is probably inside, and I'm hoping to make him squirm. But that feels too messy for a third date. Just excited. I lie smoothly. I've been looking forward to this all week. He reaches over and squeezes my hand. Me too. We walk toward the entrance, and I can feel the transformation completing itself. The woman who used to hide in oversized sweaters and avoid mirrors is gone. In her place is someone who knows she belongs in rooms like this, someone who doesn't apologize for taking up space. The bouncer checks our IDs, and we step inside. Velvet is everything I expected: dim lighting, expensive cocktails, and the kind of crowd that spends more on shoes than most people spend on rent. The bass from the music thrums through the floor, and I scan the room, looking for familiar faces. And then I see him. Derek's at a high-top table near the bar, his arm around Brittany's tiny waist. He's wearing the same cologne he wore when we were together, and for a split second, I'm transported back to our apartment, back to feeling small and worthless and not enough. But then Cameron's hand finds the small of my back, and I remember who I am now. "Want to get a drink?" Cameron asks, nodding toward the bar. "Perfect," I say, and I steer us directly toward Derek's table. This is the moment I've been planning for months. Every morning run, every salad instead of pizza, every rep at the gym, it was all leading to this. Derek's going to see me with Cameron, and he's going to realize exactly what he lost. We're about 10 feet away when Derek's eyes find mine. I watch his face change: confusion, then recognition, then something that looks suspiciously like regret. But what I see in his expression surprises me. It's not just desire or jealousy like I expected. There's something darker there, something that makes my stomach twist with unease. Something that tells me this night isn't going to go according to plan. Derek's stare follows me as Cameron and I approach the bar, but it's not the hungry, regretful look I was expecting. It's calculating. Cold. Like he's trying to figure out an angle, and that makes my skin crawl in a way I didn't anticipate. 2 gin and tonics, Cameron tells the bartender, then turns to me. "Unless you want something else?" "That's perfect," I say, but my voice sounds distant even to my own ears. I'm watching Derek in my peripheral vision, and he's whispering something to Brittany that makes her face scrunch up in confusion. The drinks arrive, and Cameron clinks his glass against mine. "To new experiences," he says. "To new experiences," I repeat, but I'm barely paying attention because Derek is walking over. Actually walking over. This wasn't part of the plan. The plan was subtle glances, maybe a casual hello if we passed each other. "Not this." "Kendra?" Derek's voice cuts through the music like a knife. "Oh my God, I almost didn't recognize you." I turn slowly, like I just noticed him, and paste on my most genuine-looking smile. "Derek." "Hi." He looks good, annoyingly good. Same dark hair, same charming smile that used to make me forget how cruel he could be. But there's something different about him tonight, something that makes me want to step closer to Cameron. "You look." Derek's eyes travel up and down my body in a way that makes me feel exposed. Incredible. Really incredible. "Thank you," I say coolly. "Derek, this is Cameron." "Cameron, this is Derek." The 2 men shake hands, and I can feel the testosterone radiating off both of them. Cameron's grip lingers a second longer than necessary, and his smile is politely territorial. "Nice to meet you," Cameron says. "Kendra's told me a lot about you." That's a lie. I've barely mentioned Derek to Cameron, but Derek doesn't need to know that. "All good things, I hope," Derek says, but his eyes are fixed on me, not Cameron. "Kendra and I have quite a history." "Had." I correct him quickly. "Had a history." Derek's smile falters for just a moment, but he recovers fast. "Right. Had." "Listen, Kendra, could I talk to you for a minute? Privately?" Every instinct I have is screaming no, but I'm also curious. This is my moment, the chance to hear him admit he was wrong, that he made a mistake, that he wants me back now that I'm everything he said I should be. "I'll be right back," I tell Cameron, who looks like he wants to object but doesn't. Derek leads me to a quieter corner near the back of the bar, away from the crowd. The lighting is dimmer here, more intimate, and it reminds me of all the dates we used to go on when things were good between us. "You look amazing," he says again, and this time his voice is softer, more like the Derek I fell in love with. "I mean, seriously amazing. What have you been doing?" "Taking care of myself," I say simply. "Something I should have done a long time ago." He nods, like he's processing this information. "I've been thinking about you a lot lately, Kendra. About us." Here it comes. The apology. The admission that he was wrong. The moment I've been working toward for 9 months. Have you? I ask, keeping my voice neutral. Yeah, I have. And I think maybe we ended things too hastily. Maybe we didn't give us a real chance. I almost laugh. Derek, you told me no man would want a woman my size. You moved in with another woman a week after we broke up. What exactly was hasty about that? His face flushes red. I was angry. I said things I didn't mean. Which part didn't you mean? The part where you said I was disgusting, or the part where you said I'd let myself go completely? Kendra. Or maybe the part where you said you were embarrassed to be seen with me? I was going through stuff, he says, and now he sounds defensive. My job was stressing me out, and I took it out on you. That wasn't fair. I study his face, looking for genuine remorse, but all I see is a man who wants something he can't have. So, what are you saying, Derek? I'm saying maybe we could try again. Now that you look like this. And there it is. The confirmation of everything I suspected about him. He doesn't love me, he never did. He loves what I look like now. He loves the idea of winning me back like some kind of prize. Now that I look like this, I repeat slowly. So, if I gained the weight back, you'd lose interest again? That's not what I meant. That's exactly what you meant. He runs a hand through his hair, frustrated. Look, Brittany and I aren't working out anyway. She's too young, too immature. I miss what we had. What we had was me bending over backward to make you happy while you criticized everything about me. That's not true. Isn't it? When was the last time you complimented me when we were together? And I don't mean my appearance. When did you ever tell me I was smart or funny or kind? He opens his mouth, then closes it again. We both know the answer. I've changed, Kendra. I know I wasn't the best boyfriend, but I can be better. I look at him, really look at him, and realize something that surprises me. I don't feel triumphant or vindicated or satisfied. I feel sad. Sad for the woman I used to be, who would have believed him, who would have taken him back and spent the rest of her life trying to prove she was worthy of love. You know what, Derek? You're right. You weren't the best boyfriend. But I wasn't the best girlfriend either. His eyebrows lift in surprise. I wasn't the best girlfriend because I didn't love myself enough to demand better. I let you treat me like garbage because I thought that was all I deserved. But I know better now. So you'll think about it? About us? No, I say firmly. I won't. Because I deserve someone who loved me at my worst, not someone who only wants me at my best. His expression shifts then, and I see a flash of the Derek who broke my heart. The mean, petty Derek who couldn't stand rejection. Right, he says, his voice turning cold. I forgot how self-righteous you could be. You think you're so much better now, don't you? You think losing some weight makes you special? I think knowing my worth makes me special. Your worth. He laughs, but it's not a nice sound. Kendra, you're still the same insecure, needy woman you always were. You just look different. But Cameron's going to figure that out eventually, and when he does, you'll come crawling back. His words hit like physical blows, but I don't flinch. Maybe. Or maybe I'll continue growing into someone who doesn't need external validation to feel complete. Good luck with that, he says, and stalks back toward his table. I watch him go, and I realize something's wrong. Brittany isn't at their table anymore. In fact, I don't see her anywhere. And Derek's walking toward the exit, not back to his spot at the bar. That's when I see Cameron. He's by the bathrooms, and he's talking to someone. He's talking to Brittany. And from the look on her face, they're not discussing the weather. My blood turns to ice water as I watch Cameron and Brittany. She's gesturing animatedly, her hands moving like she's explaining something urgent. Cameron's nodding, his face serious, and then he glances around the room until his eyes find mine. The look he gives me isn't the warm, adoring look from earlier tonight. It's apologetic? Guilty? I can't tell from this distance, but something is very, very wrong. I make my way through the crowd, my heart pounding so hard I can feel it in my throat. Every step feels like walking through quicksand. By the time I reach them, Brittany has tears in her eyes. Cameron? I say, my voice barely audible over the music. What's going on? He turns to face me fully, and I see it then, the pity in his eyes. The same look people used to give me when Derek would publicly humiliate me. Kendra, he says gently, we need to talk.
About what?
But I already know I don't want to hear the answer. Brittany steps forward, and I notice she's younger than I thought. Maybe 22, not 23. Her makeup is smudged, and she looks like she's been crying for a while. I'm so sorry, she says, and her voice cracks. I didn't know he was going to do this to you too. Do what to me too? I repeat, but the words feel foreign in my mouth. Cameron runs a hand through his hair, the same gesture Derek made 5 minutes ago, and somehow that makes everything worse. Kendra, I need to tell you something, and you're not going to like it. The room suddenly feels too small, too hot. The music is too loud, and I can barely breathe. Just say it. Derek approached me 3 weeks ago. At your gym. The world tilts sideways. What? He offered me money to ask you out. To bring you here tonight. To make him look jealous. I stare at him, waiting for the punchline, waiting for him to laugh and tell me it's a joke. But his face is deadly serious. How much? I whisper. Kendra. How much money did he offer you? Cameron looks away. $5,000. $5,000. Derek paid someone $5,000 to pretend to be interested in me. And you took it, I say. It's not a question. At first, yes. But then I got to know you and I realized. You realized what? That I was too stupid to figure it out?
No.
I realized that Derek was insane for letting you go. I realized that what started as a job became real for me. I want to believe him. God, I want to believe him so badly it hurts. But everything about tonight suddenly makes sense. The way he asked me out multiple times when I said no. The way he seemed too good to be true. The way Derek looked at me earlier. Not with desire, but with smug satisfaction. So, what's the plan? I ask, my voice surprisingly steady. You take me out a few times, sleep with me, then dump me? Was that worth $5,000? That's not what this is, Cameron says desperately. I was going to tell you.
Tonight, actually.
I was going to tell you everything and give Derek his money back. But you didn't tell me. You were going to let me walk in here thinking I was getting my revenge, thinking I'd finally won, when really I was just another one of Derek's games. Brittany speaks up then, her voice small. He did the same thing to me. I turn to look at her, confused. Derek, she continues. He didn't just ask me out because he was attracted to me. He asked me out because he knew it would hurt you. He told me all about your relationship, about how you'd gained weight and become boring. He said he wanted to show you what you'd lost. The betrayal hits me in waves. First Derek, then Cameron, now this revelation about Brittany. So neither of you actually wanted to be with your respective partners, I say slowly. You were both just playing parts in Derek's twisted little drama. I fell in love with him, Brittany says quietly. I thought he loved me too. But a few weeks ago, I realized he was still obsessed with you. He talks about you constantly, how you look now, what you're doing, who you're with. He even hired a private investigator to find out where you work out. A private investigator? My voice cracks. That's how he found Cameron. Derek's been planning this for months. I look at Cameron, and I can see the truth in his eyes. He's been watching me, studying me, reporting back to Derek about what I like, what makes me laugh, what makes me trust him. Every conversation we had, I say, every date, every time you made me feel special, it was all information for Derek. Not all of it, Cameron says. Kendra, I swear to you, my feelings became real. What I feel for you is real. How am I supposed to believe that? How am I supposed to believe anything you say? Because I'm here, telling you the truth. Because I chose you over the money. You chose me after you got caught. I correct him. That's not the same thing. The fight goes out of him then, and his shoulders slump. You're right. I should have told you from the beginning. I look around the bar, at all the beautiful people having normal Saturday nights, and I feel like I'm watching them through glass. Everything feels surreal, like I'm having an out-of-body experience. I need to leave, I say. Let me drive you, Cameron offers. Absolutely not. Then let me call you a car. I can call my own car. I turn to walk away, but Brittany catches my arm. Kendra, wait. There's something else you need to know. I almost keep walking. I've heard enough revelations for one night. But something in her voice makes me stop. Derek isn't done with you, she says. This was just phase 1. He has something else planned, something bigger. He's been working on it for weeks. What kind of something? I don't know exactly. But he's been making phone calls, meeting with people. And he keeps saying that when he's finished, you'll have to come back to him because you won't have any other choice. A chill runs down my spine. Derek was always vindictive when he didn't get his way, but this feels different. More calculated. More dangerous. What aren't you telling me? I ask. Brittany glances around nervously, then leans closer. He knows about your promotion. The one you're supposed to find out about on Monday. My stomach drops. How could he possibly know about that? Because he's the one who made sure you won't get it. The room spins around me. My promotion, the one I've been working toward for 2 years, the one that would finally make me financially independent, the one that represents everything I've built for myself since our breakup. What did he do? I whisper. But Brittany's already shaking her head, stepping back into the crowd. I've said too much. I have to go. Brittany, wait. But she's gone, disappeared into the mass of people, leaving me standing there with Cameron and the terrible realization that my revenge was never really mine at all. It was Derek's from the beginning. And apparently we're not even close to finished.